Tristan said he's even got some of the, it did it again. Height elevation speakers. Very cool.
I gotta say, those prime elevation speakers are like top notch.
They're so much fun.
Those are like literally one of the few products I haven't heard from SVS. I haven't heard any of the cylinders or the heights, but everybody that's reviewed, everybody that's on them, definitely are great.
I mean, they're great for a living room Atmos setup, like for sure. No cutting into anything. Just mount them up there. You can get some white speaker cable, and
angle
blend it in. Yeah, they have the angled baffle. I'll pull them up.
So I'll pull up my really ugly room. So if you, this is my game room, man cave, office, just place where we throw stuff. So I can't point properly, but that's them right there.
Good aim.
Those are the elevations, and you were right on the note there. What's really cool about them is if you're an installer, instead of taking 45 minutes to an hour per speaker, if the wire's there, it's about a 10-minute job.
Yeah.
And unlike an in-ceiling or an in-wall speaker, they're way more capable in regards to frequency response, where you can cross them over, being directional versus, kind of shooting straight down like an in-ceiling speaker does. You get more spatial audio. If you happen to put them, I love mine as a top-middle solution, just like you were saying, kind of in a living room. I have a pair here and a pair downstairs. And the blend between the front and rear stage can totally change your Atmos height effect experience. Yeah. And it's single-handedly the best thing I've done to my theater since Blu-rays come out is by adding a pair of those.
I think you guys having this white one that's up on the screen, that's huge too, because everybody's got a lot of people got white ceilings, and I've seen some installs where they just blend in. They got 5 on the ceiling, one for the voice of God as well. Pretty sweet.
Thanks, thanks Tristan. Sorry, thanks Tristan for the super chat. He says PB16 and Ultra also. So can you use these as Atmos height speakers? How does that work?
You could really use them as any speaker you want. Front, center, side, height effects, top, middle, top, front, however you want them to go. Because they're not a frequency limited speaker like a lot of those toppers that are out there, you could really use it for anything. And the way it works is it comes in the box. See, I knew I grabbed these for a reason. It comes with a 2-piece mount.
Happy speakers.
You may or may not be able to see this here.
Looking at these.
But, think about how there's an image right there as the top middle. So like I have Denon receivers everywhere. I set them as top middle. You can set those up there on the wall. And this piece of the mount, if you can see, it's got 2 little pegs on it. This goes on the back of the speaker. And then this piece here, you can see those keyholes through my shirt there. Depending on which way you want the speaker to go on the wall, as you can see on the image there on the screen, you can have them shooting straight down, or you can turn them on your side or on the side and kind of put them back in a corner where the walls meet. But what they're not toppers. So if you look at a topper, they're typically frequency limited to about 120 hertz or higher. You want to cross the elevation at 80 hertz or so, you're going to get more of the experience from explosions, more roars from the monsters, more effects other than just kind of whooshing noises happening up above you. And because of the way the tweeter is designed, being slightly extended out of the cabinet, the range on it is a lot bigger than a conventional in-ceiling or in-wall speaker. And if I can keep geeking out, if you guys want, if you look at toppers, the tweeters are always recessed further back than the driver. So there's no spreading into the room. And this is the exact opposite thought process here. We want you to have that effect to where you are totally enveloped from front to back. And it's unbelievable. Smith, our lead designer and engineer on this, made a great product here. And Nick, if I'm correct, it's our #1 selling speaker.
There we go.
Yeah, we kind of launched it and it was like a niche product. We're thinking, maybe some people will adopt, maybe not. This is fairly early in Dolby Atmos timeline. And then it quickly became our most popular speaker just based on the fact that people were adding it to other brand systems. It's a very neutral speaker, so it doesn't have like its own sonic signature. It can blend, with a brighter speaker, or maybe one that's a little bit more mid bass heavy, and it just fills those effects so robustly. As Larry was saying, it's got great dispersion characteristics, so all of those things play really, really well. And then I think the mounting aspect of it just makes it a solution that a lot of people can play with. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the little logo that's on the front of the grill is magnetic. So we know how like particular audio people can be. So you can take that logo and rotate it based on whether you have it on its side or straight or upside down. Just because I know people would, get all finicky about the logo being upside down. So we tried to think of everything with the speaker, and I think that's why it became our most popular model of all of our lines.
Hey, Larry, you mentioned that bracket. Is that the same bracket that you used to ceiling mount this, or is that a different one? Okay.
So it's the same piece. So I didn't really talk about it. So the pieces, they just kind of keyhole into each other.
Right.
And then in the box, there is this piece here, and you're not going to be able to see all the detail, but you can see the logo on there. And what it is a magnetic piece that slides into the mount. Let me do it this way. And what it does is it locks it so that the keyhole doesn't come loose and you don't have a speaker falling on your head.
Right.
But one thing we also like to talk about with this, and you guys, when you do calibrations and room setups, I think one of the bigger issues people come about with an in-ceiling speaker is that you always absolutely got to have it perfectly set. Otherwise, you don't get a lot of the effect. Once again, because this is a direct radiating directional speaker into the room, you could have, they don't have to be perfectly aligned. You could have one that's a couple feet ahead of the other. And after you do your room correction with Odyssey or YPAO or whatever else is out there, or setting it up with your mics independently, they'll work just fine, even if they're, excuse me, off from each other.
Yeah. Like you can see on my ceiling here, this is my setup upstairs. Like these things are not ideally placed, but look how versatile they are. Like this is mounted here on the back. This is mounted, upside down. And so are these, or facing down, I guess you could say. And then our couch is right below the picture of the dude here and Walter.
Awesome. Love it. We have a dealer in San Antonio.
Perfect prototypical like elevation system right there. You got the beams, you got all sorts of weird angles in the room, and like who has a perfect square room to like outfit with speakers all the time? So our president has a similar setup down in his basement where he's got this weird random pillar right in the middle of it, and he just mounted one of the two of the elevations there, one on its side, one straight up and down to accommodate the tweeter at ear level. And it's the best you can do. Sometimes you just got to make do with the room.
Exactly.
I need to hit you after this and get four white ones. I keep looking over there. I think I need 4 white.
We have. Systems that mix and match black and white.
I originally only had the front two before, and then when I added the rear two, it's night and day. Night and day on it.
There's a huge difference between 2 and 4 up there.
Yeah, totally.
So I only have 2. So. I'm gonna have to hit you. How do you mount the sub up there now?
Hell yeah!
We did have a bar. There was a bar that mounted one of our cylinder subwoofers in their roof one time.
Nice.
And we have like a little blog post about that, but it was a little ridiculous. We got a lot of comments about how unsafe that is. I'm like, hey, this is a authorized dealer. We trust them. You can put a cylinder subwoofer in your rafters if you want to go there.
Well,
so here you go.
You can have a subwoofer on the ground to annoy your neighbors below you, and then a subwoofer up top to annoy your neighbors above you. Why not?
Why not?
So got a couple questions over here. Papa Dope says, can they be placed like head height when you're seated? Would that work?
Absolutely. Yeah, you'd probably want to turn them sideways at that point to kind of turn them back into the room. So we have a lot of people that use them as surrounds and turn them on their side and kind of put them back this way so that the sound is kind of going more back into the listening space. What they're not, I see people asking about toppers. They're not toppers. A topper is a frequency limited speaker that is meant to kind of create that pseudo effect up above you. And so if you do have that, you need to have the perfect room for it. Like I live here in Texas, so ceiling fans can impact it. Popcorn texture on your ceiling can impact
the Focal lady, expressed it the best way. There's a lot of obstacles with ceiling bounce. There can be a lot of obstacles. So
it can be done right, but there's a lot of variables.
We call it unpredictable. It's an unpredictable audio experience. And I know a lot of people, when they're trying to dial in their sound, they don't like things that are unpredictable. They want to be able to get it, the way they want it. So it's something got to do with it.
Our events, we just have, we use a 2x4, a 2x6 at our events where we're touring the country. and it folds in half so we can transport it, but it just leans up against the wall and we have the mount on it, and that's how we do it at
That's how you do the demo.
We'll be in a warehouse doing this, or if you've been in the big Nebraska Furniture Mart stores, they're massive, and we take on their entire space by just leaning these posts up. So there's ways to work around it if you can't get stuff on the walls, but it is just 4 screws simply in the wall to put up the elevation speakers.
So are your white ones, are they white like a gloss finish, or is it a matte finish?
It's a piano gloss white. So we have the two in the elevation. There's 3 finishes. There's our black ash, that's the wood look, piano gloss black, and then the piano gloss white. And the gloss white comes with the white cloth grill. And all of our gloss finishes are 10 coat hand applied piano lacquer, just like you'd see on like a Yamaha Grand piano. So it's not just a vinyl wrap like you see on some other products.
It's a beautiful
One of
finish.
the best finish I've seen. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, if you guys are interested, I'm gonna leave my affiliate link, right, Shauna and Michael?
We'll just start dropping them.
I mean,
awesome.
there's some. Let's see if I can pull up this picture. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's on Pinterest. Oh, get out of here, Pinterest.
Oh, there's so many systems out there at the elevation.
Ceiling's so cool.
Here we go. Just let me find the right, and then StreamYard is not. There it is. Like, so here's like the white ones, even like on a beige color wall. Like, that looks great. And I'm sure once the lights are off, you don't see anything there.
No.
And you can see that system has a set of ultra surrounds there on the side.
On the sides,
towers and ultra center. And the ultra surrounds are a cool speaker too, where you can do quite a bit with them. And if you as a side surround speaker, they're really awesome because they do have 2 sets of binding posts. So you can actually run it in bi-amp, bi-wire, however you choose to do it, or you can separate it into 2 different channels and kind of use it as a side and surround speaker in one. You just run 2 sets of wire or 4 conductor wire to it. And so one half of the speaker can be surround and one can be surround back, or one can be side and one can be surround. There's a lot of opportunity there. So you can run a 7-channel surround system with 5 speakers.
I found the picture I was thinking about in my head. Here it is. It's very small, but check it out. That's dope.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. A tiny picture, but.
Oh, I use that in my trainings, man. That's
a lot of SVS.
13 point something. I can't remember. It's
13.
I mean, they got the center channels as surrounds. You can see those center channels laid horizontally.
They're vertical.
Vertically, I should say.
Yep.